Hi there, it's me, Teacher Mike from Phuket Pals. This is the second part of the idea generation series of videos. In this one, we're going to look at common topic familiarization. What that means is focusing your attention and your reading and your practice at home on the core topic areas for IELTS Essay Task 2. Okay? The most common areas are globalization, education, environment, crime, technology, public transport, traditional culture, health, government spending, and criminal justice. Now, I'm not saying that there are questions outside these particular topics. There are, but these topics here on the board are, you see questions connected to them the majority of times. Of course, you could get asked something outside of these topics, but you've got a pretty good chance if you read extensively about these particular topics. And with globalization, it could be about you might get a question about the advantages and disadvantages economically and culturally connected to globalization. With education, you could get asked about the role of education in preparing young people for the workforce. Does it prepare them effectively for the trials that lay ahead in the working world? With the environment, you could get asked about problem and solution. Perhaps it could be about global warming as a serious issue. What can we do to help solve this problem? What can governments do? What can individuals do? Is a very common way of questioning in Task 2. Crime could be about rising crime rates and what we can do to stop that. Technology could be about smartphones, something to do with smartphones. What are the advantages and disadvantages of everyone using smartphones nowadays? Something like that. Public transport could be about how public transport how can public transport help an urban area, or how can it help a city develop? What does it add to the mix of a city? How does it help a city move on and develop? As I said, traditional culture. You might get asked about traditional culture declining, and is this a serious matter? Or how can we preserve traditional culture? Or is it important anymore? Is it even relevant to preserve traditional culture? Health could be about anything connected with health in general. It could be about hospitals. It could be about paying for medical care. It could be about diseases, how we prevent diseases, things like this. Government spending. Okay, so it's about allocation of government funds. So should the government spend more money on the arts? Should the government spend more money on sports? How much money should they give to schools? And what are the benefits of this? What are the disadvantages? Questions like that. Criminal justice is all about the prison system, rehabilitation. Do current prison systems actually rehabilitate prisoners, or do they create a more dangerous criminal? Questions a bit like that. Okay, now what do you do? Now we know these common areas. What can you do to maximize your chances of getting that band 7.5? Well, you have to read around these topics daily. Okay, I recommend going to, as I've said before, go to the website Newsela. That's Newsela. Newsela is very, very useful. Get in there, create an account, and you can, once you have an account created, you can just search on Google Newsela globalization, Newsela education, Newsela environment, and whatever else, and you will get a nice news article based on one of these topics. Okay, and the good thing about Newsela is that you can modify the grade level when you're in there. So if you're not as strong a reader, you can modify the grade level to maybe a grade 10 or a grade 9. And it changes the difficulty. It changes the comprehensibility of that text you're reading to make it more manageable for you. The highest is grade 12. You can, if you feel confident with your reading, you can go for grade 12, the most difficult level, and you can work with that as well. But you will get all of these things connect in Newsela. That's Newsela. You can also use the BBC website. Well, it's a little bit more difficult. You can use the Guardian website. Okay, so that's the BBC or the Guardian, Guardian. Or something like the New York Times is always good, or the Washington Post. But for me, I always stick with Newsela, because Newsela, one, it's free. Two, it's very reliable, and you have that option to modify the grade level of the reading. Check it out. Let me know how you get on, okay? So read around these topics daily. You should be reading about all of these things. Make vocabulary lists. So in your notebook or on your computer, organize yourself for each topic. When you read an article, highlight words, write them down, write down their definitions from Google. Google definition is fine, or dictionary.com. Then you'll have a bank of words for each particular topic here, and you can learn those. Go back to them. When you go to bed at night, open up your vocab notebook, just read through things, okay, and just make sure it sinks in. Next, you can watch YouTube videos on these areas as well. TED Talks, TED. If you type in TED, globalization, TED, education, TED, the environment, these lectures are very, very stimulating. They're very enriching. They're full of a lot of goodness. They're full of ideas, critical thinking, stuff that's really helpful for IELTS essay task 2, which is why we're here, of course. So TED, TED, if you don't know it, check it out. TED on YouTube, search, and one of these words, and you'll get lots of good stuff. Or if you don't want to go for TED, you can just search other things as well. But TED is quality, I can guarantee you that. Also, TED will have good subtitles as well. You can put on the subtitles for that. And if it's too fast, you can take your time at it and extract the most goodness you possibly can from that video. So YouTube is an invaluable resource for you IELTSers as well. Next, use Google, good old Google, to find related essays. So just go on to Google search and type in IELTS essay 2, IELTS essay 2, education, IELTS essay 2, environment. When don't do that until you've done the first 3 things first, okay? The first 3 things are super, super important. You need the ammunition, you need the vocab, you need the ideas connected to each topic before you can write the essay itself. So that's idea generation 2, common topic familiarization. I hope that video helps you, and I'll see you next time. Thank you.